Good morning, warriors, and welcome back to another episode of the Worship Warrior podcast. Last week, we talked about how to put on the full armor of God so we could prepare for battles in our everyday lives. But what happens when those battles become too much for us to handle, and we start to question if we even truly believe in God? I'm Michael Zapata. This is Anna Laura with episode 2 of Connected. Let's get right into it. What's up?
Hi.
How you doing today, man?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing actually really good. Really
I haven't
good.
seen you in a while since last week, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Whole week.
Yeah.
What's new in your life?
Nothing much. Starting school soon.
Okay. Starting school. Oh yeah, that's actually a big deal.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Starting
almost
school soon.
glanced over that.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that? Most people are going back to school now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Tell me what you're
I'm
going through.
excited. I haven't been in a real class in a while.
Okay. Oh
Yeah.
because you're going back to the thing. So what would you say, like? Oh yeah, actually tell them what you're doing in case people don't know you or what you're going to school for.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
Right.
all that stuff.
I'm a psych major, theater minor.
Okay.
At a university.
At a university.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And basically, end goal is to counsel. Even ender goal is to be a therapist, but that's like
Wow.
a couple years down the line.
I think it's so cool. Yeah, she tells people that, and I'm like, that's a plan. Like that's really solid that you know that far into like.
It's like a 10-year
life.
Plan.
It's like but it's a plan nonetheless.
Yeah.
Like, that's pretty cool. You know what I tell people when they ask me what my plan is?
That's so true.
I don't know. I like to make videos.
No, but like I actually have so much like
schooling and stuff.
Yeah, no, but I have so much like, what is that word? Respect for you.
Oh.
And what you're doing, because you're making your own like career.
Yeah, but it's just hard to explain to people.
Yeah, but I think that's like way more noble.
No, I don't think so. I think it's just something that I feel called to do. But just like you feel called to be a therapist. I think that's way more noble in my opinion. I think as long as just do what you're called to do, man.
That's true.
There's no set path. We weren't even going to talk about this, but there's no like set path. You know, I don't like it when people say you have to do it this way. Dude, like as a person, you know what you want to do and what you're called to do.
Yeah.
You don't see like, you know, birds, I don't know, going off to university because they have to. No, they know what to do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A loose example.
Yeah, kind of a weird analogy, but yeah.
You know, I was trying to go with the nature metaphor because they always just know what to do. You know what to do deep down. Anyway, that's not what we're talking about today.
Yeah.
So what we're going to talk about today is the big question is questioning your faith. Is it normal to question your faith? But before we get into that topic today, we wanted to give a recap of what we talked about last week. If you were with us last week, we talked about the armor of God, and in that we gave some homework.
Yeah.
You know, to get you ready for school. You know, we gave you some homework. Anna, did you do your homework?
Yes, I actually did. Did you do your homework?
Can I be honest with you?
You didn't. Oh my gosh.
I forgot.
Until right now? Until this second?
I had a lot to do.
Wow.
I forgot to go over the questions.
Wow.
I'm sorry. I gave the questions. You don't see the teachers going out there and doing their own homework now.
They do. They do.
I felt so. I didn't even tell her that I didn't do it until right now.
You were literally like on me.
I was like, "Did you do the questions?"
Like 3 days in a row.
And I kept telling myself I was going to do it, but I forgot.
That sucks.
So
for
you start for us.
So it's okay. So there's 6 pieces of armor, and mine are split 3 and 3. I feel like I have 3, and I'm missing 3.
Yeah. Oh, did I tell the question?
Oh no, you totally didn't.
Okay, so in case you missed it, the two questions I gave were, what pieces of armor do you have on? And so we, go over that. If you're not sure about what that is, watch last week. We tell you about it. And the second question was, what do you struggle putting on? Mm-hmm. So go ahead.
Okay, so I feel like I have on the feet with the gospel.
Okay.
Feet fitted with the readiness of the gospel.
The kicks.
I feel like I have that. I'm pretty solid with that recently. Mm-hmm. I feel like I have the breastplate of righteousness.
Okay.
I feel like I have a good, I know what's good and right, and what's bad.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And then, let's see what else I wrote down here. Oh, I feel like I also have a good belt of truth. Mm. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So
I feel like I know what the truth is. Mm-hmm. You know?
So you think that you have a pretty good idea of what right and wrong is, and
your what compass. The truth is.
I would agree with all of that. I think that's really
and
good.
Knowing like the gospel, stuff like that.
Right.
What I struggle with is the shield of faith.
Okay. Yeah.
I do struggle with that.
Yeah.
The helmet of salvation.
Interesting.
Just because it's supposed to be like what protects your mind, Uh-huh. And I feel like anything mentally, I'm kind of struggling with.
Okay.
And the sword of the spirit, just because I don't feel like I have a good defense. Do you know what I mean? Like I don't use the word of God to cut through like doubts and stuff.
Amen.
I'm just not good with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yet.
Yeah, absolutely. That all of us, dude. All of us. It's really good to be honest about where you're at. Mm-hmm. I really appreciate you being vulnerable like that because we're all trying to get better in our lives. It is interesting though that you talked about the faith, because that is exactly what we're going to be talking about today. We are going to be talking about what happens when you're struggling with your shield of faith. What happens when you're questioning what's out there? Are there aliens? I don't know.
I think there is.
I think there is too. I'm not going to lie. If you think there's aliens, leave a like and follow us on Instagram so we can talk about that. But yeah, let's go ahead and talk about the topic today, questioning your faith. What does that look like? What is that? Is it bad? Are you weird for that? Are you like sinning if you question your faith? Well, we're going to actually read a passage from the Bible and have that as our focal point. So we're going to read, if you can, please, Anna, John 20, 24 to 29. That's John 20, 24 to 29. Follow along with us if you want to. If not, here we go.
It's a long one.
It's a long one.
Yeah. Now Thomas, also known as Didymus, which also means twin. Thomas' nickname was Twin. Anyway,
really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
One of 12 was not with the disciples when Jesus came. So the other disciples told him, "We have seen the Lord." But he said to them, "Unless I see the nail marks in his hands, and put my finger where the nails were, and put my hand into his side, I will not believe." A week later, his disciples were in the house again, and Thomas was with them. Though the doors were locked, Jesus came and stood among them and said, "Peace be with you." Then he said to Thomas, "Put your finger here. See my hands? Reach out your hand and put it into my side. Stop doubting and believe." Thomas said to him, "My Lord and my God." Then Jesus told him, "Because you have seen me, you have believed. Blessed are those who have not seen and yet have believed."
The first thing I think from that is that, first off, poor Thomas. Because I believe you informed me. I didn't know this, but he was basically called Doubting Thomas the rest of
That's like his nickname.
This is Doubting Thomas. You know, I could just picture him at the table. He was like, "Hey, look, it's Doubting Thomas."
I know. Imagine you doubt once and you're like...
And he's like, "It was one time, guys. I didn't know he came back from the dead, okay?
I'm sorry if I have a hard time believing that."
Yeah. But, dude, that's the whole epitome of faith right there. Is, and I think that last line by Jesus really does cements it. It's used as an example. You've seen and you believe.
Yeah.
That's good.
That's good.
But he says, "Blessed are those that have not seen and still believe." To me, that's like, okay, this is where faith comes in. We talk about this God. None of us here have seen what he looks like. None of us have seen him.
Yeah.
And truthfully, there is evidence in it. But, you cannot you really can't prove it, you know? And that's always been the debate as far as like science and stuff. It's like you really can't prove it. So it's like, so why do you believe it? It's because of faith. It's because we believe, and I truly believe in that, you know, John 20 verse 29, you know?
Mm-hmm.
That you're blessed when you believe without seeing. So what do you think on that? Do you have any thoughts?
I agree. I don't think you should feel guilty for doubting your faith. And I think that's what a lot of Christians struggle with when they start doubting.
Right.
Because, let me tell you something. I wrote this down. I said, doubt is not the same as disbelief. Disbelief is a mindset of this is not true, while doubt is a question. What if the thing I believe is not true? There's a difference. Like if you disbelieve, it's like you completely do not, you know? And like doubting is just a question, and there's nothing wrong with a question.
There is absolutely nothing wrong with asking questions.
You shouldn't feel guilty for that.
And that's the best. That's a really good way to look at it, actually. If you find yourself doubting and people say, don't doubt God, you know, don't doubt his power. Yes, okay, that is pretty decent advice. But the thing is, you know, we're allowed to question.
Yeah,
that's the freedom we have as being believers. That's why I believe in a God that, you know, that is my God, that is Jesus, because we have that freedom. You know, he's allowed us to have this thing called free will.
Yeah.
You know, and we're allowed to say, you know, this doesn't make sense to me. And we're not challenging his authority when we do that. There's a total difference. It's all about your intent. And I think too many people, and if you're one of them, I'm so sorry. You know, I personally am really sorry that, you know, you were kind of a subject of ridicule. Yeah. Maybe. I feel like that happens, you know, in churches.
For sure.
You're not allowed to question, or you're not allowed to raise a concern, or else you are against God and you need to be shunned and you need to be silenced. And I don't believe in that one bit.
Yeah.
I don't always think... you know, people will come to me with questions. I don't always have the answer, but I'm more than happy to hear them.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I'm happy to hear them, and if I can give some insight, that's great. But if I can't, I usually just say, man, that's a great question.
Yeah.
Read it yourself, look it up, and I'm probably going to do the same.
Yeah, I think...
pique my curiosity.
Yeah, in the beginning of our relationship, I asked Michael, like, 10 questions a day.
Can you think of some of the questions you asked me? Just
literally, like, I wasn't even Christian yet, and I was like... how does God forgive bad people? Yeah. Or like, why do bad people get to go to heaven? You know, why is every sin the same? Is it okay to be gay? Why are people mean? I hate churches.
The last one really wasn't a question.
Why does church suck
you
so
said
much?
That about 20 times a day.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's actually what you just said. All of those are topics we're going to talk about in
funny.
depth, because those are all great questions. Yeah. And that's why we're doing this episode as number 2. This is the final segue. We prepared you for battle, and this is kind of the overarching of like what we're going to be doing is not, we are by no means doubting God, or questioning God, but we're going to be exploring the Bible in ways that maybe most people don't in churches. When it comes to gay marriage, when it comes to bad people being forgiven, is every sin equal, all that stuff that people just kind of say. People will give you a surface answer. Why does God forgive bad people? Because he does, because he's God. We're going to explore that, you know, and we probably won't find an answer, to be honest with you.
Nope.
But we want to talk about it. We want to have it open. It's okay to do this stuff. It's okay to talk about this stuff. You know, I never really thought about that, or I would never really. That's a good question. You know, why are things different in the Old Testament? you know, it does in a lot of things. You know,
Jesus died for our sins.
Yes, absolutely. That is the answer. But then it comes to the question of like, you know, if I've had this question be asked to me, if God is omnipotent, he's all knowing and all good, why would he change his mind halfway through? But that isn't really what happened as you research it. It wasn't that he changed his mind. Instead, it was always part of the plan. And then it becomes like, well, why is that his plan? We can't answer that. It's
complicated.
We cannot answer that.
It's complicated, you know?
You know, if you're looking for the answer to life through this podcast, you're not going to find it. There's not one answer, but you will find a tool to help you find that, what you're looking for. Yeah. Hopefully.
I do have a couple verses I want to talk about.
You have a what?
Couple verses.
Yeah, go for it.
If that's okay.
Absolutely.
In John. So we're still in the same passage. I know we went on a tangent, but we're still in John. We're still talking about doubting.
Yeah.
And so as I was reading it, verse 25, so it says, so the other disciples told him, we have seen the Lord. But he said to them, unless I see the nail marks in his hands and put my fingers where the nails were and put my hand into his side, I will not believe. So for me, what stood out is the disciples have seen it. Do you know what I mean? They see Jesus. They've experienced it. They've felt his hands. They know for a fact. They've had an experience. They've had an encounter. Thomas has not. Do you know what I mean? Like Thomas, literally, Thomas's friend came in and said, hey, Jesus just came back from the dead. Tell me you're not going to be like, what? I don't believe you.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? And I feel like this is such a great verse because it has parallels to us today.
Okay.
A lot of people have like these encounters with God, and I was atheist, right? So it's kind of like people will come up to me, they'll say, I felt God today at the sermon, or I really feel God. You have these connections, and like if you've never had that, it's easy to doubt. It's easy to not believe them. Do you know what I'm saying? And I don't think that's bad because you haven't felt that. You haven't experienced that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You haven't touched Jesus' hands. You haven't seen the nails, just like Thomas didn't.
Wow.
You know?
That is a great point.
It isn't until Thomas sees it himself. It isn't until you feel it yourself that you're like, oh, you know?
Yeah.
So I thought that was a very good verse.
That was a fantastic point.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, let's talk about that. You know, you're right. Thomas hadn't seen like the disciples yet. He didn't have his encounter. Of course, I don't. What would you say like for you? Have you had that?
I think I have.
You think you have?
Yeah. Well, I know I have. I'm not gonna say I think I have. It's just hard. I will say it's hard for me to talk about spiritual things.
Yeah. Just say what you want to say.
Yeah.
No worries. Yeah.
Just because in my head I'm not gonna say I'm still atheist, but in my head I still have that mindset where it's like kind of embarrassing to talk about spiritual things. And in a way, you should never be embarrassed of God and your experiences with God. So I am trying to work on that. But
no, but you know, truthfully, it can be easy to be embarrassed to talk about this. Absolutely, it's one of the hardest things. Not even you said you were atheist, which is true. I've been a Christian my whole life, but for some reason, I've always found it very hard to bring up this stuff to my family.
Your spiritual experiences.
My family, to like my friends and stuff. Yeah. Or like because I don't know, it just doesn't really come up natural in a conversation. You know, you don't go to Chick-fil-A, even though that's a Christian restaurant. You don't go to Chick-fil-A and just start talking about God. Naturally people will look at you strange, but then it's like even I know that that's like what we're called to do. Is bring up the Word of God.
But it's hard.
It's hard, and here's where we come in. Is I think even going on to that, if you're watching this and you're a Christian and you're pretty strong in your faith, you could be, the touch that someone needs to see God through you.
To experience that. They don't necessarily have to have that on their own. Maybe God will put you in a place to touch somebody else's life. Yeah. So that through you, if you're watching this, you can be kind of that bridge to the next chapter in somebody's life, and I think that's a beautiful thing. For sure. I've heard lots of testimonies where people just have one experience. Do you know what I mean? They go to one Sunday at a church and they just happen to hear the right sermon. Yeah. They open the Bible and read one passage, and that just happens to be the passage they need. Yeah. Like, once you have this one experience, it can be life-changing.
It opens up so many doors, and it doesn't mean you're ever going to doubt again, because there will come a time where you want to question.
For sure.
But now you have that touch. Now you can see, and it's a beautiful thing. And I believe I was very blessed. I've been very blessed my life. I saw that touch with my family, just right out the gate. They've been nothing but blessings to me. And that was, not everybody has that. And I understand that not everybody comes from that same background. Some people have no parents, and where do they get that touch? That comes from meeting you guys and us. People on the street that we see them, and like, I always do my best. I'm a very big introvert, and I'm very shy. I'm not outgoing at all. But I feel like I just really want to be more. Because that simple hi that, like, I'm too nervous to say to somebody passing by, you know when it's like really awkward?
Oh, yeah.
You're passing somebody, like, on the sidewalk. Why don't I just say hi, hope you have a good day or something?
It can be life-changing.
Because you never know. But I have to get past the humanistic side of me. And I'm pretty sure other people are like that. There was something that you told me about one time that I'm thinking about. It keeps coming to my head. There was a story of that man. Oh,
so there's a lot of people who've committed suicide in the San Francisco Bridge, and my brother actually told me this. So there was a guy. It was this article, really fascinating, where they interview people who have tried to commit suicide, jumping off the bridge, but have survived.
Yeah.
So the few handful that have survived.
Mm-hmm.
There was this one guy who said, "I'm gonna walk there, and if just one person smiles at me, then I'm not going to do it. I just need one smile." Then he walked there and nobody smiled at him. And so he tried to commit suicide.
It was just a smile.
Yeah.
And he didn't succeed, right?
He didn't succeed.
Which is...
In fact, most people who jumped and survived said that the last second right before they hit the water, they realized that, like, any problem they had could have been solved.
Wow.
So we have verse 27. And in verse 27 says, it doesn't say that, but then he said to Thomas, "Put your finger here, see my hand, reach out your hand and put it into my side. Stop doubting and believe."
Mm-hmm.
In some translations of the Bible, it's "do not disbelieve, but believe."
Mm-hmm.
It's like Jesus is saying, test the evidence. Do you know what I mean? Feel my hand, test it for yourself, and then decide.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And I thought that was really beautiful. But leading to verse 29, where he says, "Then Jesus told him, 'Because you have seen me, you have believed. Blessed are those who have not seen and yet believed.'" And I feel like he is talking to us. We are those who have not seen, but believe. We can feel, but we're never going to be the disciples who have seen until we die.
No way.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not until we die where we're going to be like, oh, crap. Yeah. I feel like this is like to us, and I think that's really beautiful.
Mm-hmm. It is absolutely.
Yeah.
It's to us, man.
It's to us. And lastly, I just wanted to talk about Jesus' character here and why he's Jesus and stuff.
Yeah.
And stuff. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So here's the thing. Me and Michael have fought a lot. We're dating. It's been a year.
Oof, a lot of fights can happen in a year.
We have fought quite a bit, and I'm sure everybody has in a relationship, if you're in a relationship, or even in general. So I know that when I start an argument with Michael about something that he did or didn't do,
I'm glad you recognize that. Sometimes I didn't do it.
Sometimes you didn't do it, but I'm like, I know you did it, or I don't believe that you didn't do it. What's your reaction?
Whenever you say, like, I don't believe that you didn't do it,
yeah,
and I really didn't do anything,
you're angry.
I'm like, hands in the air.
You get angry, like, yeah.
I'm in awe.
No, and I do the same thing. Yeah. I get angry. Here's the thing. Jesus doesn't do that.
Oh, wow.
So Jesus just came back from the dead. One of his disciples, his 12 disciples, one of his homies, is like, I don't believe it. Jesus doesn't go, dude, I'm standing right in front of you. He comes out of love and says, here, feel my hand. It's up to you. Feel my hand. Believe me or don't. But I love you. That's what he's saying. We don't do that. And that's why we're not Jesus. You know what I mean? I don't come, like, if someone doubts me, I flip it. I get upset. But Jesus doesn't do that. And I just think that's, like, amazing. Because at the end of the day, the Bible says to be more like Jesus. And
Jesus is a very cool-headed guy.
Jesus is a very cool-headed guy.
He's under a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
He's got to save the world.
Yeah.
So
I thought I think this is a great passage. I think there's so many little things that you can really dive into.
Honestly, yes. And it's one that I haven't really dove into too much before this, Mm-hmm. But it was, I was trying to research a passage for this, and this, I don't know, it's like God said this is the one.
Yeah.
That we need to talk about.
No, I agree.
And I mean, can I give you a high five?
Thank you.
Those are all great points.
It's a beautiful passage.
Well, with that, we are going to transition to a very fun segment. If I can get my shaker, please, in the edit. Because it is now time for Anna's Fun Fact of the Day. Give it to me,
girl. Okay. So, this isn't like super fun.
What?
But, blood donors in Sweden actually receive a text message when their blood is being used.
What?
Isn't that kind of cool?
Like blood?
Yeah.
Is
Like
that just in Sweden?
Yeah, I think. Have you ever donated blood?
No, actually. Oops.
Well, if you haven't, you should get out there, donate your blood. It really saves lives. Unless you can. But yeah, so when they use your blood on another person, they'll send you a little text message and say, "Hey, thank you for your service. Your blood is being used."
Huh. That's a weird thing to tell me.
Isn't that kind of sweet, though?
I don't know if I want to know that, though.
Well, now you know. It's a fun fact.
As a person, like...
Oh.
Like, just think about that. So you're just, like... Let's say you're, like, I don't know, just chilling. It's a weird day. And, like, you get a text saying your blood is being used by someone else.
Imagine you donate when you're, like, 16, and then, like, 20 years pass by, and they go, "Hey, by the way, your blood's just now being used."
Wow.
And it's been like 20 years.
You're like, what's about time?
It's about
My
time.
blood's done changed by now. It's not mine anymore.
You know what blood we use every day? The blood of Jesus Christ. Can I get an amen?
Snap. That was good.
Thank you.
Really
I'm really getting the hang of this Christian thing. Yeah.
You're really on point today.
Thank you.
Oh my goodness. I'm really getting the hang of this Christian thing. Write that down. Man. Okay, so pretty good fun fact.
That was a good fun fact.
Straight to the point.
It's not a pretty good fun fact.
Pretty good.
That was a good fun
fact.
fact.
You started it by saying this isn't that fun. Even though your whole segment is Anna's fun
You
fact.
come up. You think of a better fun fact.
No, see, it's because you're too good at it. You know, I can't dare to try to do this. You know.
Mm-hmm.
And plus, I have to come up with the rest of the show.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, thank you for that. So, you ready to go back to our serious topic?
Yeah, I'm ready to go back to our serious topic.
Tone the music back down. Let's get the regular stuff on. And let's continue with this. What are you doing?
What you were doing, but longer.
Did I do that?
Yeah.
Oh, snap. Let's cleanse our hands of that bloody fun fact. Get back into the Word of God. So, I just have some questions.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's talk about this. We're talking about doubting your faith. I kind of want to skip to a very personal one. And I want to talk more about, so we talked about the scripture. Let's talk a little bit more about our experiences now. So, we've already decided, or not decided, like we made this decision. We've established that doubting is not a sin. Can you name a time in your life where, like, you can say you were really, 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 really doubting?
Well, I did more than doubt. I completely disbelieved.
To be fair, you did become an atheist.
14 years.
For 14 years.
I completely disbelieved. I guess I've doubted ever since coming back into Christianity. But I don't think it's been as bad as the original time where I started to doubt. And you know what? I will say this. Doubting isn't wrong. I think it's safe to doubt. I think sometimes it can become dangerous because it can turn into disbelief. Because that's what happened to me. But here's the thing.
Okay, yeah.
But I think that's why you should really have strong foundations. And that's why I think it should be your choice. Do you know what I mean? If it's your choice, when you start doubting, it's not gonna be easy to go into disbelief because you made your own choice. But when you're forcing other people to believe your beliefs, you're making it easier for them to stop believing. You're not giving them that choice. Our strength comes from choosing to believe in God, not being forced to.
I think that's so true. Yes, dude. Because I mean, honestly, when you're forced to choose anything, let's be real. As people, it's the old example of like you're about to clean your room, then your mom says clean your room.
Oh, I hate that.
And now you don't want to.
I hate that.
And it's
or when your boyfriend tells you do laundry, but you were gonna do laundry, and now you don't want to do laundry.
That's on me. but that's true, and it's a weird thing that humans do, us people.
Yeah.
But it's true. We don't like being told what to do,
mm-hmm.
and it becomes harder to accept something completely if we're told this is how it is. We have to find it ourselves.
You have to find yourself,
and that's totally cool, man.
Yeah.
I think we came from very different backgrounds, not too different. Similarly different. In the middle there, you kind of went haywire.
Yeah, yeah. But that's because I was, that was the biggest time I ever doubted. And that's why I think it can be dangerous.
Yeah. And see, in like my case, though, it's like I was a Christian my whole life. I still am a Christian.
Yeah.
But, there was a period, and I'll talk about it a lot. There was a period in my life where I really had no clue what was going on. And I just wasn't as vocal about it. I was very much in a dark place where I didn't believe in really any good. And I remember I told you there was times where, I don't do it ever anymore, but there was a time where I was just like ranting about like to whoever would listen, about, the world is evil. Everybody's bad. This sucks. There is no purpose for anything. And I was full on that train of there's no purpose for me. There was a big time in my life where I wasn't questioning in a healthy way.
Yeah.
That's where it got dangerous, because I started to question who I was.
Yeah. And
question the good in people.
Do you feel like you had a choice? Like, do you feel like you got to choose
to believe in God?
Yeah, or it wasn't until you were older where?
Well, yes and no. So I grew up with a Christian family all around. So
yeah, but they're so sweet.
They're so sweet.
They're so sweet.
They never really forced me to do anything.
I love them.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah,
I do. They're okay. No, I'm joking.
That's so mean.
I'm joking. Growing up, I didn't get a choice, I guess, because you don't choose where you grow up.
Yeah.
So the first thing I knew was God, and the first thing I knew was this is how it is. And I grew up in a very small town, so I didn't really question when I was a kid. I grew up in a small town in the middle of Texas. It was a very conservative town. It still is. And man, that was life.
Yeah.
That was life. It wasn't until I grew up and I would say in the middle of high school is when I started to really get doubting of things, because I had still been, my anxiety, my social anxiety, I didn't have a name to it yet, for one. And it was getting worse every day. It was getting to the point where I dreaded waking up and going anywhere.
Yeah.
And this sucked because I dreaded going on stage. And as you know me, the stage is my, a big part of me. Being a musician, performing. It was getting that bad, and it had never really affected me into that point. That had been my safety zone. But I started to realize that I was starting to get nervous. Like beyond nervous. It wasn't just jitters, And then I started to think, what is this world? Like, what are we all talking about anyway? And, why is everybody so, rude?
Yeah.
And then I get to college, and it kind of just gets worse, because I'm like, oh, no, people are really rude.
Oh, yeah.
And nobody believes in the same things, really. And also, this place is just unfamiliar.
Yeah.
And forbidden territory. And I believe that's where it got dangerous, because I started to question, not in a healthy way, I wasn't searching for answers. I was pretty set on what I believed, and that was that the world was no good, and that God had messed up.
Yeah. And
this was pointless, what I was doing, because there was no point to anything. And so for a long time I did nothing. I kind of skidded through life, and I regret that a little bit. But it obviously turned around.
Yeah, it did.
It did. It really did. And that happened about halfway through college. Since then, dude, it has not, like you said, it has never been that bad again. Now I feel like there's this time where I question, and my faith is...
You doubt.
I doubt, but I do it in a healthy way.
Yeah.
You know, I know my foundation. I will, you know, there was always a God to me.
Yeah.
I will never not believe that.
Yeah.
And, you know, but, you know, now I'm getting asked these questions of, you know, the more and more gay rights come up, more and more, you know, we get these new genders, and my knee-jerk reaction, if I'm being very transparent, is, well, that's wrong.
Yeah.
That's weird. You know, that's my knee-jerk reaction. And then the more I meet people like this, the more friends I make, I'm like, they're not really bad people. What is the meaning of all this? You know?
Yeah.
From a Christian perspective, how do we treat, you know, things that we don't understand? Because I really don't understand that part at all. I won't act like I do.
Yeah.
You know?
I love how you said doubting in a healthy way.
Yeah.
I think that's so true.
Yeah.
I think the times you fall in, the times I've fallen, I was atheist for 14 years. You obviously went through like a little doubt of depression and anxiety. And I think it's because we didn't know how to doubt in a healthy way.
Yeah.
And I think it's important to tell kids, I think especially growing up in religion, in Christianity, in faith, I think it's important to not, you know, make them feel like it's wrong, because then that sends you off the deep end. I feel like that sent me off the deep end. I don't know about you, but like to tell them, hey, this is normal. This is how you can doubt healthy, and this is how you can come back to your faith.
Here's your question. It's not a bad question.
Yeah, it's not a bad question.
You know.
Yeah.
We don't. You know, and it was hard to get that. You know, I will say, and I will say that I think we need to put names to things a lot more. You know, again, I didn't have a name to what I was going through until maybe college, you know. And at that point, it was like, oh, this is what I've been dealing with for 7 years, you know.
Yeah.
This is how it can help, you know. And let's freaking talk about sex to kids. So sorry.
I agree.
Dude,
agree.
You know, I don't know about you, but that never came up in my household, and I kind of wish it did, because I didn't know what was going on.
You grew up Mexican.
We grew up Mexican. We didn't talk about this stuff.
Yeah, I think you should talk about it. Here's the thing, and this is what I believe in 100,000%, and I know I will tell this to my kids.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can say it on YouTube, so I'm not going to say it. But the right words for genitalia should be used when you're talking to your kid. Okay? Yeah. Do not give anything like don't give any cute nicknames. Your no-nos. Don't give any cute names. Because I'm going to tell you this. It's going to make it easier for your child to be sexually assaulted. Wow. That's just a fact.
How is that a fact?
No, it's just a fact.
Yeah.
Because predators know that you're using these words with your kid. You're not saying I can't say it, but you know, you're not saying the proper scientific name. And so this predator's going to be like, oh, that's your no-no? Da-da-da-da. You know, it's easier. You need to put, you need to tell your kids this isn't a joke. You need to tell your kids.
Label maker and label your kids.
You need to tell your kids, hey, this is your P, you know?
Yeah.
This is your P word. Nobody can touch you. This is your P word. This isn't your no-no. This isn't your da-da-da. This isn't your da-da-da. This is your P word.
Yeah.
It just, vocab is so important. Vocab is extremely important.
It is, dude. And yeah, man.
I don't know how we got into this, but yeah, I'm a strong advocate.
Sex, so.
Yeah.
Started talking about it.
I'm a strong advocate for that. It was also anxiety, depression. You need to put labels into this, because then kids think they're crazy, especially growing up in religion. Oh my gosh, you think you're insane for even thinking of the P word, but that's not even true.
That's yeah.
Like, you should have vocab.
And you should know you're going to go through a period where you're going to be very confused.
You should know you're going to go through a period. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And you're going to be like having all these weird things come up.
And that's okay, because you know what? Every adult has experienced the same thing.
Yeah, isn't that a weird thought?
Every adult has experienced the same thing.
We all do it, man. So let's just all be more relaxed about it, I guess.
Oh, yeah. And I think adults forget. It's easy to forget that they all have gone through
See, whenever
what
we
their
become,
kids have gone through.
Whenever we become like adults, like really.
Oh yeah.
We gotta watch this back and remind ourselves.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Because I'm looking at it, I'm like, well, then again, I'm not really good with confrontation either. That's like somewhat of a confrontation of like, hey, let's talk about this uncomfortable thing.
We have to, though.
We have to, though. We really do. We really do. Yeah. Do you have anything else?
What a weird, like,
weird
tangent to go into.
You know, so I don't know if I've asked you this. I kind of went into mine, so I won't speak too much on this question. I said that I've seen God through my family and stuff. What do you think really brought you back? What did you see that really started to? Where did you see that gave you evidence of God in your life to make you turn from atheist to Christianity again?
I've talked about this before.
You do, but maybe people haven't.
And I'll talk about it again because it makes me smile looking back to it. You know, Michael says that he saw it in his family, and I also saw it in his family. Let me tell you, Michael was my friend for the longest, for like a year. Not the longest, but we were friends, and I always knew he was a Christian. Never thought it was a big deal. We've talked about it a couple of times when we were friends, but we never really dove into it. And then we started dating. Michael was never disrespectful. Michael never said, "You're wrong." Michael never forced me to read the Bible with him, to go to church with him. Never did I ever felt pressured. When Michael even told his parents that I was atheist. And I said, no, lie to them. Tell them I'm Christian. I don't want them to hate me.
That, though. I said she's atheist and liberal.
But he didn't do that, you know? And that meant a lot, to just feel respected as a human being. And here's what I'm going to say. I listened to a podcast the other day where this woman talks about coming to America as an exchange student. And she's from France. She was atheist. And she came into this Christian family. And the Christian family didn't start by, you have to believe this, you have to believe this. She said this, and it really stuck with me. They earned the right to talk to her about God. And I think that's beautiful. And I think a lot of people are disrespectful when they just completely like drive through the other person's beliefs. You have to earn that right. So Michael earned that right to talk to me about God in a deeper level. And it wasn't like day and night. I didn't become Christian the next day, you know?
Yeah.
It was beautiful. And then I met Michael's family. And let me tell you, if you don't believe in God, go to Rockdale Church where Gloria is singing, because that will change your life. That's a spiritual experience. And and that's really what shook me.
It's all about, and I'll add on to this. You know, I went through this when I was at this church, and I went through a study. We went through a little group thing about how to be a disciple maker. And actually, it was really good timing, because I went through it around the time we were getting a little closer. And I wasn't really thinking through the steps when I went through, you know, when I was talking to you. I was legit just talking to you. But the biggest thing I took away from that whole lesson of disciple making is it's a relationship you have to build. You can't just turn people.
You can't.
You know, that's not how it works. You have to build a relationship.
You can't just say I'm right and everything you've ever believed in is wrong.
Yeah, that doesn't really go over well.
That makes me hate you.
It doesn't go over well whenever people say it's a Christian. So.
Yeah.
You know, and it was never the goal with you. It was never the goal of I want to convert you. It was the goal of I want to keep talking to you.
And you can feel that.
Yeah,
you can feel that.
I liked you as a person.
Yeah.
Right?
The goal is never to convert. It's like to just love.
To love, and that's what we're called to do, is love. We're called to spread the word of God and make disciples. How do you make disciples? It's not by you know, we have preachers to preach. That's their job. We as disciples, we go out there and we share what we experience. Let your experiences talk for you. You know, let them see it through how you act, how you treat that person, how you know. And again, these things just come from an honest place of caring. You know, people, you have that as a person, I was not thinking through steps when I was talking to Anna. I wasn't thinking of I got to say this and this and this. That would have came out way too, I guess, like what's the word?
Naggy.
Not naggy.
Pushy.
Ungenuine.
Ungenuine.
Ungenuine. Whatever.
That's what I mean.
But it's like, yeah, that you talk to people. You be yourself. You be who God made you, and you let your experiences talk for you, and then you can be that smile that someone needs to not jump off that bridge.
Yeah.
That's the end of it all.
Yeah.
It's the kindness we show. It's the love of God.
It's the love.
Jesus showed it to Thomas, the man who doubted him. He didn't raise his voice at him. He didn't berate him.
Yeah.
He didn't say, "You are not my son."
You're wrong.
He said, "You have seen me. You have believed." And then he talked to us. Blessed are those who have not seen you. What did I say? I messed that up.
Blessed are
those who have not seen and yet have believed. I was trying to do it from memory. Yeah. That's it, man. Do you have anything else to add to that? Any final advice?
Yes, I do.
Great.
I do, actually. I wrote it down. First, I want to say, doubt strengthens your foundations in faith. And then I want to say, doubt changes you from a blind follower to a seeing choice maker.
Oh man. I love that.
You choose, You're not just following blindly. You choose because you doubted.
Yeah.
And then this is my advice. Don't feel guilty for doubting. Acknowledge it. Use them to your advantage. Choose what you believe. And by choosing, you'll strengthen your faith.
Well, I mean, I have nothing else to add to that topic. What we're going to do now is we're going to transition to our final segment. So if you were with us last week, we did a challenge to see who was really a true worship warrior.
Michael lost.
Well, I didn't win.
Michael lost so bad.
It was really close.
It was not close at all.
It was crafting, okay? We had to do crafting challenge. So, like, we had to craft things. I'm not good with my hands in that way.
You're a drummer.
I said in that way.
You should be good with your hands.
You
play bass.
You don't take the scissors and do like that stuff. Like
your whole job involves your hands.
Whatever. I will not take this ridicule. The point is, you won, and for that, I have a trophy to bestow upon you. Are you ready?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I am ready. Whoa.
No, don't eat it. It's a battery. Okay, truthfully, I don't have a trophy or anything, but we're going to get a championship for her. We're in the works of this season. We're kind of making this on the spot, by the way. But this is her token of you are the warrior of the week, the true warrior. So congratulations. Round of applause. But we're not done. So you're going to get to reign for another week and enjoy that. But we have something else to show you that you are too eager to wait for. This is a beautiful cup, and it resonates beauty and blueness and love, but inside it is true horror.
Yeah.
Because the loser of every challenge we do, in this case me.
Yeah, because you lost.
We'll have to draw from this cup, and it is called none other than the Cup of Punishments. Oh yeah. I'm not looking forward to this. But is that the end?
No, it's not, Michael.
Not, because I have a chance for redemption. That's right. So, since I lost, I have to draw from this. But instead of that, I can get away with it if I answer 5 questions.
More than 5 questions.
No, it's 5.
No, more than 5 questions right.
It's 5.
No, it's more than 5.
We said 5.
No, you have to get more than 5 questions right. So 6.
Okay, I guess I have to get 6 out of the 10 questions correct. In a trivia that Anna has created for me. These questions are straight from the Bible. If I get 6, apparently, that's a new rule.
It has to be more than 5.
I guess.
You'd get like 50%.
Yeah, okay, fine. So if I get 60% right, basically I get free of the punishment. We throw it away, and the championship's up for grabs next week.
Yeah.
But if I get 10 correct, all of them, 100%, The tables are flipped, my friend. And my lovely co-host will have to draw instead from the cup of
punishments.
The cup of punishments instead of me.
I don't think he's going to get all 10 right, though.
I think I can do it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You'll catch along as we do this. Basically, it's punishment time unless I can get 6 out of these 10 questions right.
Yeah.
I don't know what they are.
Yes.
You ready?
So there's 10 questions, 5 easy ones, 3 medium ones, and 2 super hard ones.
You even changed the format on me. Okay.
Yeah. Are you ready?
Let's do it. I gotta get 6.
I'm gonna keep track. You have to get more than 5.
More than 5.
And you have to get 10 if you want me to do it. So
Okay.
good luck with that.
Let's do it. I'm excited.
These are the easy ones. We're starting with the 5 easy ones. These are really easy Bible trivia. In what city was Jesus born?
That's Bethlehem.
Yes.
Yeah.
You get 1 right.
That's 1. I almost said Nazareth because he was Jesus of Nazareth.
Yeah.
Nazareth, but it's Bethlehem. Yeah.
Who brought Jesus gifts when he was born?
The 3 wise men.
Mm-hmm.
These are easy.
I know, they're easy. Okay. What is the 8th commandment? Michael Ryan Zapata.
Okay, I'll be honest with you. I don't memorize the commandments in order. 8th commandment. I have to think about that.
You host a Bible podcast.
I don't know. Let me think. I want to say it's thou shalt not murder.
No, you're wrong.
Really?
It's thou shalt not steal. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, this is a needle.
I just slammed my hand in the and there's a freaking nail.
Are you okay?
I'm good.
Are you sure?
Good. This is a makeshift table. Anyway,
Okay.
Continue. I guess it's
So, my punishment is off the table, but you still have a chance of redemption.
Now because I got that wrong, you
Yeah,
don't get a punishment.
you still have a chance of redemption.
Okay. Next, please.
Who is the angel who told Mary she would give birth to Jesus?
That's actually it was. Oh, I don't want to get this wrong.
Come on, you know it.
I do know it. I don't want to get it wrong. Is it? I don't get answer choices.
No.
It was Michael.
No. The angel Gabriel.
That's who it was.
You are totally not gonna get this.
I knew that one too.
What was Jesus' crown made out of?
Oh, thorns.
Yeah.
All right, back to the easy. So how many is that?
I think that's all the 5 ones, right? That's all the 5 easy ones?
I think so. So I got 3.
You have 3 right. You got 2 wrong.
So I got to get 3 more.
Yeah.
How many more questions do I have?
You have 5 more.
Okay. We got this.
Here's the 3 medium.
Oh, God. Okay.
Who baptized Jesus in what river?
And what river?
Yeah.
Well, John the Baptist, obviously.
I'll count that as 2 because you have 2 answers.
Oh, yay.
In what river?
Okay. So John the Baptist in the river of... Oh, man. I feel like I know this one.
You should know it, I think.
I do. Oh, God. It was... I do because of Hex class.
Hurry.
It was something with a T. Was it the Tyrus?
No, River Jordan.
Oh, I wasn't even close.
Okay. What was the profession of Simon Peter before following Jesus?
He was a fisherman.
Yeah.
That's easy. That should have been the
You
easy
have
category.
5 right.
I need 1 more.
You need 1 more. You have 3 more questions.
3 more questions. Come on.
After Jesus fed 5,000 people, how many baskets of food were left over?
Is it 0?
No, it's 12.
Am I tripping? Did I just remember that wrong?
It was 12. 12 baskets were left over.
Man, I've been sleeping on my Bible stories. This has been a minute. Okay. Fair enough.
How old was Jesus when he started his ministry?
He was 30.
You got it right.
That's it, baby.
That's 6 right.
I don't even got to continue. So, no punishment. Unfortunately, you don't get to see that. Maybe next week when I take the title from her, Anna will be with the one drawing from this. So, we'll see what happens. So, I know you have to get out of here.
Yeah, I do.
So, we're going to actually throw it back to the final thing of today. So, if we can bring the happy music back down to regular music, we're going to get you out of here. But I have homework for us again, so we have to talk about that.
Oh, my gosh. Why? Why do we have to talk about it?
I'm going to ask a simple question. I want my the viewers to think about this. I want you to think about this.
Yes. You want everyone to think about it. Okay. Stop laughing.
Sorry, this is funny. What are you battling today? And how do you stay strong in God during these times.
Why do you breathe so slow?
I want people to understand. We're talking about how do we stay strong in God during these times. Where are you going?
I need to go.
We're almost done.
No, I need to go.
You're going?
Yeah. Don't laugh at me.
I'm going to close the show. So, as you can see, my co-host ran off having to use the restroom with only like 2 minutes left of filming to do. Again, I'm going to ask the question one more time. Think about this on your own. What are you battling today, and how do you stay strong in God during these times? We're going to come back with our answers next week. I'm going to do my homework this time. Again, whatever you come up with, send us your answers, whether it's email, worshipwarrior99@gmail.com. If it's on Instagram, if it's a video, send it to us. We might play it at the beginning of the show. We might even read it. Who knows? We might give you a shout out. So let us know, because this is the open community. With that, I mean, we're going to sign off. I say we, but she's gone, so I'm going to sign off of this episode of the Worship Warrior Podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope that you got something out of it. If you did get something out of it, be sure to subscribe to our channel and follow us on Instagram to get the latest updates on all things Worship Warrior. And finally, let us know what you want us to talk about next. There are no dumb questions. This is all a safe place to question and be curious. Oh, you're back. I'm just about to end it. But yeah, let us know what you're thinking out there. Again, Thank you so much for watching. Have a beautiful rest of your day. And we will both see you again next week on Worship Warrior.